Welcome back to the Transfer Show. Let's focus on Liverpool now, the biggest spenders so far in the summer window. Mark, I know there's a long way to go, many weeks in this transfer window, but so far would you say Slot and Liverpool have won the window?
It certainly feels like it. Premier League champions, they were 10 points clear, most wins, most goals, best defence. They're the team to catch, they're the team to beat, and at the minute everyone's lagging behind in the transfer market as well. Let's take a look at the business that Liverpool have done so far, because it has been absolutely outstanding. And the first thing you'd think is, this is targeted, this is structured, this is planned, this is coming from the top, and very clearly they had identified players and positions that they needed to strengthen, and they've done exactly that. So let's take a look. Obviously, the potential English record of Florian Wirtz from Bayer Leverkusen, done and dusted. Milos Kerkez, a player that Richard Hughes knows incredibly well. He signed him from Bournemouth as well. They went and activated that pursuit by getting that deal done for 40 million, inclusive of add-ons as well, which looks like extremely good business. You can see Jeremy Frimpong as well. That was a release clause of 35 million euros. That got done and dusted. And then Mamardashvili was actually signed last summer, but he went back out on loan, and now he's re-linking up with the squad as well. And then a couple of little pieces of business down the bottom there as well. Freddie Woodman joining this week on a free after his deal from Preston North End was sorted. So I think the key thing you see here really is a complete rejuvenation of Liverpool's goalkeeping department. So they've obviously got Georgi Mamardashvili, who came in last year. He's only 24 years old from Valencia as well. So he could be the Liverpool number one for 10 years or more. You know, he's at the perfect age to develop, and a really outstanding goalkeeper. We know that Alisson still has 2 years left on his current contract as well, so it'd be interesting to see the dynamic there between those two. But without question, you've got two first-class goalkeepers. Obviously, they've got Vitislav Jaros, who's gone on loan to Ajax, so that's a really good loan. Woodman's come in as well, so it's a complete rejuvenation of the goalkeeping department. And you'd say, actually, despite losing Kelleher, it's probably stronger now than it was last season. So that's like big box tick as far as they're concerned.
And the fullbacks, of course, as well. And you look fullback set up with Trent having gone.
Yeah, so this is, again, another exciting part. Let's take a look at what the potential back four could be for Liverpool next season, because you look at it straight away. Conor Bradley, hugely exciting fullback. He's really developing into a top-class player. I know that Arne Slot and the hierarchy at Liverpool very fond of him. And you've got Frimpong, Jeremy, who's come in, who can play as a right wing-back, can play in that Mo Salah role down the right-hand side. He can also play at right-back as well. But you'd imagine Conor Bradley would be the main choice there. Konate's going into the last year of his Liverpool contract. One to keep an eye on there. Does he sign an extension? Do they sell him? Or do they just allow him to go on a free? That's where the Mark Gahey talks are coming. Now, our information here is that Sky Sports News Liverpool very much in the market for a centre-back. They like Mark Gahey. Goes into the last year of his Crystal Palace contract. However, the price at the moment, we don't know what Steve Parish is saying. This is what I want. However, it needs to come down for Liverpool to be at the table. Liverpool won't pay £40+ million for a player that's into the last year of his contract if there is a more sensible price attached. Now, at the end of the day, he's a Crystal Palace captain, and Palace can say, well, actually, no, we want 45 million and 45 million only. But do they want to risk losing him for free this time next year? Virgil van Dijk just signed a new 2-year contract, no question about his position there. But this is where it gets a little bit interesting as well. Down on that left-hand side, Milos Kerkez, Hungary international. You've got a Champions League winner, Premier League winner, Andy Robertson, who's got interest from La Liga and Atletico Madrid, and you've got Tsimikas there. So you'd imagine Liverpool maybe will see one of those two players leave Anfield over the course of this summer. But yeah, like you rightly say, it could be a new look back four.
Options there then. What about further forward? How blessed are they with options in attack as well?
Now, this is where it gets quite exciting, actually, and I think this is where Liverpool are going to be a team to watch, because we know that Arne Slot can be quite creative. Now, let's take a look at the forward attacking options for Liverpool for this season coming, and this is a really interesting team. Now, this goes back to February this year when they played at the Etihad against Manchester City. They played a 4-2-4. And you're saying to me, hang on, 4-2-4? They didn't play with a recognised number 9. Now, in 22 of their 38 Premier League games this season, Liverpool went with a recognised number 9, but it's only just over half. So on so many occasions, Arne Slot is comfortable with playing a false 9. Now, I think with the signing of Florian Wirtz, you're going to see this formation a little bit more. You're going to see a 4-2-4 because Florian Wirtz can go and play that Curtis Jones role. We know that Luis Diaz can play as a false nine. We know that Mo Salah's a lock-in on the right-hand side, and Dominic Szoboszlai can also play that role. But you saw the likes of Diego Jota play there, who would transition from the left side to the right side, or play as a false nine. Florian Wirtz is versatile as well. He can play anywhere across that line. So I think when you look at that and you go, well, Jota started 14 Premier League games. Darwin Núñez, the recognised number 9, only started 8 Premier League matches. I think you get a little indication that whilst they're in the market for a number 9, Arne Slot would say, we don't get one. I'm actually quite comfortable because I like playing this formation. I like playing with 4 up front and no recognised number 9, and that playing that false 9, because that gives me the opportunity to transition between players, be really quick on the break, and actually I like that kind of setup. So it'll be interesting to see what Liverpool do over the course of this season, because they now have that option where they can use this formation, which they did at the Etihad and won the game incidentally, a lot more regularly this season coming.
And they've got a lot of business done early. We said over £200 million, and we're still in June. How, though, do you see the next few weeks playing out for Arne Slot in the transfer market? How much activity do you expect to see?
Well, like I said at the start of this segment, Liverpool have been so efficient. They've clearly had their targets and they've gone out and got them. So therefore, they can sit back, relax and go, well, the players are coming back for pre-season in the next week or so. I'm actually really comfortable with the squad I've got. I'm happy with the players we've got. I think we've strengthened in the right areas. However, this is where it gets interesting because Liverpool are still in the market to try and sign players. We know they're looking for a right-sided centre-half. We know potentially a number 9. But if you said to me, right, Jarell Quansah has gone to Bayer Leverkusen, that is done and dusted. The medical will happen this week now that England have won the the European Under-21 Championships. So he's gone. That's obviously 100% PSR profit because he comes through the academy. Just say they sell Darwin Núñez for 40 to 50 million pounds. That takes that to 85. There's interest in Luis Diaz there, although there's a reluctance on Liverpool's part to sell someone of his importance to the side. What about Harvey Elliott? Sensational during the European Championships. Player of the tournament, scored in the quarter-final, scored in the semi-final, scored in the final. He's been scored in the semi-sensational. We know that there's interest from the Bundesliga. There are other Premier League sides interested in him as well. Just say, for example, someone says, well, just say for example 40 or 50 million, they didn't pay that much for him because he come as a youngster. Suddenly that 85 they're bringing in turns into 130 or so. They've made money 130 and 150 million. So suddenly Liverpool could generate 150 to 200 million in sales, which just covers off the money they've already spent. So guess what that means? They can go and spend again. They can go again and buy more players and strengthen yet again. So strengthening from a position of strength, it feels like Liverpool could yet be so much more formidable in this transfer market. And I think they're absolutely a team to watch. But right now, one thing we do know is they're so relaxed with the business they've done because they've got it done early. Liverpool, one to watch.